Has our beauty industry been colonized? Well, if you ask academia and the media right now, they would say absolutely yes. That through our culture, education, products being sold to us, celebrity photos, it has been instilled in us since birth that being white is most attractive. And therefore, there is an inherent Eurocentrism in the beauty industry. The only problem with this theory is if you take about 2 seconds to look around you, you'll see it's absolute nonsense. But before we jump into the video, a real quick thank you to our sponsor, Ground News, an app that is very relevant to the conversation of bias media, making me totally obsessed with it right now, as it helps me challenge my own preconceived notions with tools that allow you to compare how a single story is being covered across the political spectrum. You can easily identify bias of a media outlet and see how they are framing an issue compared to other news organizations. And one of my personal favorite features is their blind spot feed that highlights underreported stories on both the left and the right, so you do not get trapped in a feedback loop. And the best part, you can get premium app access with the code SOUTHERN. So be sure to check them out in the link down below and stay ahead of the bias media. Alright, so I've actually been meaning to make this video for a while now, and it seems the perfect opportunity has presented itself. The other day on Twitter, I saw a Bloomberg story trending about skin whitening products in Asia and a rising opposition to colorism in the beauty industry.
Skin lightening is about power. It's an expression of power, and so people who lighten their skin are doing this because they are responding to a power dynamic that exists in their particular society.
The theory here is that the beauty industry views being white as being better, and we need to decolonize what we view as attractive, that everything we've decided is fashionable, beautiful, normal, right, is Eurocentric. And I won't deny there are some aspects of this which have existed through history and at time overseas. However, today, especially in the Western world, I really think it is completely unhelpful to observe beauty standards from the perspective of a specific ethnic-only insecurity, as it misses the broader picture which unites us all. The fact that every ethnic group struggle with the exact same problem when it comes to beauty. The lure of unobtainium. We all desire what we cannot have, or what we were not born with. In almost every poll I could find, the vast majority of women were unhappy with their appearance. One poll boasted 97%. And if I had to take a guess, I don't think the 3% of people feeling great about their bodies contained all the white people in that poll. We all have innate things we wish we could change. Even on a personal level, I'll admit, my natural hair is super wavy. It's like a lion's mane. Would have been great to have in the 80s, not so much today. I straighten the living crap out of it. And well, hair straightening may not be a great example of rejecting Eurocentric beauty standards. There are absolutely instances where white people also desire and pursue the traits of other ethnicities. And to see this, all you have to do is observe some of the most popular cosmetic procedures to date. Firstly, lip augmentation is up 43% since the year 2000, and that stat is from an article in 2016. Lord knows it has gone up since then. I honestly can't say I know a girl who hasn't done it, dabbled in it, or at least thought about it before. Moving on. Another increasingly popular surgery is the Brazilian butt lift, which people are literally dying to get. Legit, 1 in 3,000 people die when getting this surgery, making it the world's most dangerous cosmetic procedure. And lastly, tanning salons and particularly self-tanning products are anticipated to grow around 6.3% in the next 7 years. And I'm sure you've noticed now a commonality between these last 3 booming industries. None of them are about enhancing white traits. Large butts, big lips, and certainly dark skin are the opposite of Eurocentric beauty, and yet they are undoubtedly the most popular beauty trends today within the Western world. Funny enough, massive celebrities embracing more ethnic beauty standards like darker skin, bigger lips, and braided hair are actually on notice at the moment for allegedly blackfishing. Ariana Grande used to look like a pretty normal white girl 10 years ago and now is rather ethnically ambiguous. Other stars on blast include Rita Ora, Selena Gomez, Iggy Azalea, and Kylie Jenner, plus pretty much all of her siblings, which has brought about this really confusing conundrum because our media have this one side where they're complaining about how the beauty industry and their standards are Eurocentric, as we've seen from Bloomberg, while also, on the other hand, shaming people for embracing non-European beauty. And this has really put women in an impossible spot. The fashion trends today that do reject Eurocentric beauty are cultural appropriation, but then if they don't embrace them, they're seen as just basic white, ugly, thin-lipped Becky. And I wish I were joking, but mocking people for having thin lips has literally become a meme and an insult, largely on racial grounds. You're a disgusting, mayo white, thin lips, no butt ass Becky. That is a whole section of the internet, which displays once again another sad universal truth. Human beings will use unattainable appearance goals which they naturally hold that someone else can't achieve to mock others and play on racial insecurities, no matter your ethnicity. You rewind the clock 20 years ago and it was, oh, you have a big butt? You're disgusting and out of fashion.
Do these pants make my butt look big?
Eyelid surgery in Korea to appear more white is insanely popular. Women of color are out here spending $8.6 billion on skin bleaching creams every year. Meanwhile, all the white chicks are out spending billions getting cancer at tanning salons. The beauty industry sucks for all of us. We all go in and out of fashion. We all want what we don't have. And I do not think that beauty industry executives are sitting there saying, yes, let's make these people follow X beauty standards. Let's make it all Eurocentric. Not at all. Because they thrive off us all being insecure. We are all not pale enough. We are all not tan enough. And the algorithm and our search results will let ad agencies know which insecurity to play on more so than another. And you know what? The beauty world isn't even necessarily driven sometimes by actual beauty, but just by being able to augment and change our bodies and being obsessed with appearing so different from our previous insecurities to the point of disturbing and even ugly extremes. There's an entire subreddit dedicated to just botched surgeries, which some people don't even think are botched, just overdone. And you get to this point where there's girls getting lip injections to the degree of absurdity, or breast implants to the point of looking painful. Now, I want to be clear here. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to be more beautiful. I don't think there's anything wrong with a bit of cosmetic voodoo here and there. I think putting effort into life is wonderful as long as you avoid the extremes. Go get your hair done. Go get a nice outfit. Please, for the love of God, put on deodorant. And if you feel like there's something a little more major that you need to do to feel better, whether it be getting laser or you have bad teeth and you want veneers, do it. But this is an innate human desire and trait of insecurity in all of us. And seeing the media try to make such a nuanced discussion into a race-baiting campaign, I think is just so foolish and misses this primary conversation we could be having about the lure of unobtainium in general. And you know what? The whole thing also points to a media cultural ignorance and desperation to paint a narrative. Must white people always be the center of every other ethnicity's motivations? Or perhaps, could Asian desire to be pale have nothing to do with Europeans, as the pursuit of porcelain white skin has been a beauty tradition in Asia for over 1,000 years, particularly within the geisha tradition? Also, things like braids, which people often call cultural appropriation. These have existed and appeared in plenty of different cultures without any sort of culture theft going on, as the desire to augment our natural appearance is something which unites us all as humans. And while this video has been particularly about women, as we're discussing an industry which largely markets to them, this transcends gender as well. Men feel all these things too. So to me, the real conversation here isn't which racial group, which gender, cultural group, or whatever is at fault for imposing certain standards on the other. It's that we all have these insecurities and tend to just want what we can't have. So the question is, how do we approach that? How do we fix this? Well, one of the sad aspects of this all to me is that natural beauty, natural ethnic beauty, is being erased largely as we're all morphed into this weird silicone beige, medium-lipped, ambiguous Instagram cutout. And I probably exacerbate this myself following trends. So with something we all want to follow, how do we actually challenge that? How do we re-embrace what we were born with? I don't know the answer to this question. I don't think any of us do. But I guess if I could try to end on a little white pill here, what I will say is the beautiful thing about the fashion industry is everything eventually runs its course and goes out of style. It gets too popular and people get bored of it. And perhaps eventually we will get bored of this constant augmentation. We will get bored of constantly trying to be something we're not. And there will be a re-embracing of our natural selves. Something we can at least hope for, I guess. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my rants and raves. Be sure to hit like and subscribe and put in a comment for the algorithm because YouTube seems to hate me. All right, I will see you next time.